Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the European Smite Pro League. This is our second game of the day. The first game did result in a DQ forfeit by TSM, but this is Mortality Esports versus Cloud9 HyperX. And as we were mentioning, Cloud9 needs to win this game or they will be losing their fourth place seed to SK.
This is a really important game for C9, and you're looking at them right now, and the fact that SK is moving up is a big thing for C9. They have to keep an eye on the charts, right? North America's locked, EU's very, very close. So Cloud9 is sitting at 7-8 right now. If they win here, they go to 8-8, and they're one game behind TSM. Mortality 10-6, so they're kind of straddling behind Exposed Secrets in that first/second seed. They're one game away, realistically, and the game can be very detrimental in the way that 10-5 versus 10-6. If they find a win and Exposed Secrets finds a loss, then all of a sudden they're 2 games away, and it's difficult to kind of separate that. But we're to the game, guys. Left side of your screen, Mortality. They're banning out Freya first across the way. C9 takes Mercury off the table, and things are heating up here with hyper carries.
Yeah, a couple of notable ones off the board, as you mentioned. Jung Kuei going to be leaving the field as well. Banned out by Mortality there. Not worthy of the first pick, they think. We'll see what Cloud9's going to ban out here. Nua actually is going to be banned out here. Would have maybe expected to see
Interesting.
something. I don't know. I haven't seen that Nua take over the game yet.
No.
I just haven't seen her justify that first ban position. But it's happened so often.
Now, we did see Nuwa yesterday able to use those minions to tank up the Phoenixes and kind of that old split push style.
Yeah.
A lot of AoE damage, good burst, so definitely fits in, but not anything that's kind of out of the ordinary. Geb first picked here for Mortality across the way. Cloud9's going to take Ra and Thor here. So as far as that goes, Nemesis. So in the jungle goes hi-rez with Nemesis. We know hi-rez actually has a pretty high performance rate with Nemesis in the jungle. Across the way, they're going to take the Ra. I don't imagine this would be avoided here as he's so good right now.
Yeah, they'll probably take him off the board, which will leave open the Apollo, of course, likely go to the side of Cloud9. But no, they're going to pick
Black Box?
Thor? Okay, yeah, so Rom and Thor are going to round out their lined-up. Geb, Rom, Thor on the side of Cloud9 HyperX, Ra, Nemesis, and rounding out their first draft phase here.
Giannis.
Taking a look at Giannis, which would make sense.
Interesting.
We have seen him fall in priority, though.
Well, it's
Up in the
optics.
4th, 5th spot a few times, but yeah, for optics.
It's optics. I mean, he's so good at that character. You can see 456 GPM right now. Pick ban rate for Giannis so far in the SPL is 90%, so he's almost always involved in the picking stage, whether it be a ban or a pick.
Did they really ban ISIS?
They banned ISIS here. Now, against Mortality, we saw Fexes messing with ISIS a little bit. We do know he has his backup, right? Ogni. Yeah. He's been playing Ogni ever since he even started the qualifiers for the EU Pro League kickoff. They're going to be banned out here since they already have Geb, but it does also leave open a lot of supports, most likely a Bacchus.
Yeah, Bacchus is going to probably be the support over there. Apollo going to be drafted out by Cloud9 HyperX. And, well, actually, with the Ra Giannis, it should almost certainly be Bacchus, right? The knock-up synergizes really well with those, but in the same
it could be Kumba.
Kumba, right, can kind of bring some of that same stuff to the table, although the knock-up a little bit more powerful than the Mez, unless you're going to be relying on the ultimate to set up those abilities.
So NQ not taking Baka.
The Nemesis, Fist of the Gods, Ra combination is here, which seems to be really, really popular in Europe, especially.
No, I mean, anything that holds someone still long enough for Ra to hit is guaranteed. We've seen the Freya one, probably the most notable and most famous is the vanish into the Ra ultimate into the burst damage from Freya. We're going to see that Mortality going to pick up Bakasura here. Interesting enough, Cloud9 did not seem to like the Bakasura fitting into their lineup here. We know NQ always loves to run that, but it looks like NQ is going to be running a Ra this time around, keeping his team alive. Kumba will be the choice for support here for Cloud9. Gives them a lot of setup potential. You had that sleep from the Yawn. You also have the ultimate to set up combos with Giannis and Ra specifically. More like that Freya banish where you bring them up to the air as they're falling, Ra ultimate or Giannis ultimate or Giannis Unstable Vortex, free easy damage. So the final lineup on both teams is locked in here. We've got going to be a solo Bakasura, Sayo running that yet again. Ogni in the mid lane for Fexes there, but Thor is really this razor thin kind of character. Yeah. If he's ahead, he's unstoppable. If he's behind, he has a lot of trouble.
Well, what we've seen out of Rafa recently on Thor, looking to the games yesterday, it was really, really high performance in terms of his impact around the map.
Yeah.
But he did not farm very well. Kills in Smite are worth a tremendous amount of XP, and Rafa was consistently falling behind in XP yesterday. So even though he was active around the map, his farm had really fallen off. So we'll see if Raffer can kind of shore that up today. Will he kind of remain at the top of the players? Even though he was, I think, like 5-3 and was really looking good and making a lot of pressure around the map, maybe 6 assists yesterday.
Sure.
Through the mid game, just didn't have the levels. Was actually sitting closer to where his hunter was. Or I'm sorry, was behind where his hunter was, which is kind of unforgivable out of the jungle because the hunters are so much slower to get XP.
Right, yeah, I mean, that's the biggest thing is it depends on how you play. And why Bumbus makes a big role is you're able to kind of get that gold split pretty easily. Sometimes jungle will fall by an experience, but not so much where you're kind of with the support even, right? We saw that 2 days ago where the jungler was kind of like at tying with the support. So at that point, you're way below threshold here.
You don't want to be
but supports is a good thing to talk about here because supports have made such a huge difference. And we're seeing some EU supports fall behind the threshold of this is really helping. But let's go ahead and look at the lineup here across the screen here. 448 for Frezzy there, speaking of supports. 201 assists. I mean, you compare that across the way there for Emilito. 134 assists. Not even close there, but a lot of more deaths as well. The GPM here for Sayo, I believe he's the 4th or 3rd highest GPM in the SPL so far with 509. I mean, this lineup is really strong for both teams, and this is a game where you're really wondering, can Mortality prove themselves? Because they're doing well, but they've had a lot of close calls.
And it definitely slipped. I mean, they were sitting on top of EU for a while there. And
sure.
It feels a lot like looking at this team, especially coming off the lane performances indicated here that Sayo has been struggling. But, I mean, 82, 50, and 112 with 510 gold farm leading his team. I mean, no surprise he's leading the team out of the solo lane there, but I mean, he really is performing quite well, but we'll see how he does on his Bacchus Sir here. As you can see, we'll be playing that on the bottom of the screen. Has 100% win-loss rate in that one game that he did play with him.
49.
Over on the side of Cloud9, well, the standout here has got to be that Ra, where NQ has yet to lose. Granted, only one game played, but still, 470 GPM.
Man,
it's pretty good at solo lane.
Look at Raffer on Thor, though. 17-5 and 24.
Yeah.
100% win. They have not lost a game yet where Raffer was playing the mighty God of Thunder. We got 498 GPM, straddling that 500 mark. But you see 530 there for Sayo and Bacchus with that game he played. So, I mean, there's a lot of good things going for Mortality into this match. And, you look to C9 to see if they can find that sweet spot, right? You get Giannis going to bring out a lot of damage, 18, 11, and 38. And the great thing about Giannis is that he has this late game presence where if he gets to past the 30-minute mark, it's one of those gods where you're like, it kind of like Hobwa, but not all the way to Hobwa state, where you don't want to be close to him for too long because the damage that comes through is just way too strong.
Yeah, it's not that one knock-up CC chain into his damage kit's going to kill everybody like a Hobwa, but it is certainly the case that he's going to be able to be really awful in those. I mean, that's really the thing about Giannis is he's just such a pain in the ass. In team
gosh.
Fights. He throws out the unstable vortex. He throws out the threshold, slowing down the enemy, speeding his team up, and then generally speaking, look for him to be porting to the backside of the fight. Look for the second unstable vortex, and then looking to use either his combat blink or his sprint or something along those lines, or even the beads 3 to knock his cooldowns back down to escape if need be. So
that cooldown combo is so good.
Yeah, and also do be looking for. Optics tends to not favor the max CDR build. You see mids like Gnaw generally going Chronos Pendant, cooldown boots, Obsidian Shard. I would expect at NQ to see the Pen boots, Chronos Pendant, and then maybe a Spear of the Magus, a little bit more aggressive, but we'll see what he does elect to go for.
A little dance party here in the top left, mid camp 4C9, and you see Giannis kind of getting down here, wiggling his little robot butt. But yeah, I mean that's the cool thing. I mean we've only seen really once where Giannis went for the tanky style mage build with Warlock Sash and kind of controls and slows and that kind of thing, and really worked out with the threshold. But so far we had to see the CDR pen Giannis or the full damage Giannis with like a Book of Thoth and building up Obsidian Shard and that kind of stuff. And Giannis really, I mean, either way, he has a lot of built-in inherent damage. His passive increasing his gain of damage overall. Looking at itemization here. Nothing really too out of the ordinary except for Sayo. Now, this is the second time he's done this. The first time was not really all that successful. Heavy hammer start into boots 1. This means he does not have a Hand of the Gods to secure camps. Now, he does have Eat Minion, which makes a big difference.
Yeah.
He can guarantee the kill on buffs, but the other thing as well is that if he gets pushed out really, really quickly, it's hard for him to come back. Now, one thing I would have liked to see this game is possibly an Eat Minion invasion.
Yeah. I mean, well, I don't know. It's so hard to fight into a level 1 Raw. I mean, that heal, it just makes it so difficult. You can lose a lot of HP.
Well, it's a 33% execute.
Not known for his high base power, but yeah, the 30% execute. But And you got to be worried, right? The slice and dice slow from hi-rez plus the heal beam from NQ means it's very hard to fight into. And if he gets kind of caught in there, he could be in a lot of trouble. But really level 3 is where that gank potential becomes a lot stronger for Ra versus the melees. So nonetheless, I don't know. I think Sayo, he has fallen a couple times in the last couple games early. Definitely doesn't want that to be the case here.
Well, looking for Ra some damage. He's going to force him out of the lane. We do see that hi-rez looking for the back Harpies. This is a very common strategy for jungles. And there's really 3 jungle times to look at. There's going to be the 1 minute time where the jungles leave early to get back Harpies. There's going to be the 1 minute and 20-second time where they look to gank the mid lane, or like the 130, 140 where they leave to kind of just go farm. Damage in the mid lane here. hi-rez going to take some damage from the Path of Flames, as we do see Fexes disengaging immediately. Flame Wave should clear out this remaining little bit of minion wave as it comes into his tower here. We're about a minute away. About a minute and 30 seconds away from the mid-camps respawning. They're worth 90 gold, and they're very valuable for teams to start picking up. We do see that Raffer's standing on top of a ward unknowingly, and we're going to see them kind of come over and poke him down with that slice and dice. Yeah,
one thing that, the other kind of last timing that you might see out of that soul lane is the full rotation between the tier 1 and the tier 2 to try to pick up that, in this case, the red camp on the Chaos side. And you actually saw that hi-rez went over there and sniffed it out just to see if Thor had started that up. Left side,
nice
players bunching up, Emilito getting fairly low on mana, in fact, here. As they, Youngbae and Emilito did try to make a bit of a play there, but looks like Mortality came out ahead. 2 archers still to their name, and still a nice chunk of mana on that Geb.
Sayo taking a lot of damage in the right lane, forced to go home prematurely. What will he pick up? He's actually looked to finish off his combat boost, picks up 1 healing potion, and heads back to the lane. But NQ doing a great job of controlling this. Actually has a ward in hand and pushes his little fishbowl there on the right side to make sure he has vision of that jungle rotation, making sure that between damage and blue buff, they'll be able to see what's going on. Now also keeps him covered from the Thor. Now, one thing that could be noted here is the fact that Thor will most likely ult from the Fire Giant camp, and he doesn't have vision of that, but of course you can look up and see him coming. NQ currently sitting on Aegis 1, so he has the defensiveness of the ultimate, and what that really does is that Bakasura is CC immune for 1.5 seconds when he first pops Regurgitate, and now what this will do is if he pops the Aegis, he'll take no damage during the ultimate,
coming out,
but also be able to avoid it and then slow him down with the Divine Light. There's the slow we're talking about. He's having to buy time. Oh, this is a bad spot for Sayo, and he's got an ultimate. Can he hit it? Oh, the babies! He took way too long to pop that ult.
He was actually trying to throw out his regular beam, right? And he just sat there and got eaten by the babies. I mean,
why not just ult?
They would have probably still killed him, though.
No, because if you kill Baka, the babies die.
We got Thor up in the air. Left side lane is going to find 2. Emilito Optics in a lot of trouble. Rom's over the top as well. Moax putting out tons of damage. Emilito trying to get out. Bomb does hit. Rolling forward is Frezzy. Frezzy finds the passive proc. They'll give this one away to Raffer. And there it is, a double kill for the Thor. Mortality finds 3 quick kills around the map. One of them off of a strange kill onto NQ. Kind of, I think, maybe not familiar enough with the matchup there on the Bakasura, or overestimating what his heal is going to do at this stage in the game. And then a easy ultimate there for Raffer. Just right position, right time, and finds 2 very, very easy to kill gods. Kumba not really known for his ability to escape, especially since the nerf to his mez. It's just not that same radius. You can't catch people as often that are in melee range trying to hit you, and, well, he gets blown up.
First, second, and third blood here for Mortality. C9, they're feeling the heat right now. They're sitting at a very strong 1,200 gold deficit, 1,100 experience as well. So top damage is going to go to Ra in the solo lane, and that hurts. They need more pressure on the mid lane and more pressure in the jungle on the left side of the map near the Gold Fury. Now, both blue buffs on the left side have respawned. The movement speed buff has been picked up here by hi-rez in the back right jungle. The blue buff will be respawning here and given to NQ in the solo lane. But, you know, when you lose that early kill against a Bakasura, it makes a big difference, and now he's not as safe as he thought he would be. But look on the left side here, Optics rotating over, looking for some damage onto Geb. There's the Groggy Strike going to miss. The shield comes out. They're going to let this one go. They do see the rotation coming out from Fexes. Vision pretty strong here on the right side of the map here for C9. They got 1 near the mid cap, 1 near the back blue buff, and 1 on the rotation towards their side of the jungle. And, you know, it's a very safe and steady as she goes for C9. Mortality looking to be much more aggressive, and it seems to be fitting them. They've got a tier 3 sprint there on Sayo. A blink already on Frezzy, and you can see that they're putting a lot of wards on the left side of the map.
hi-rez ults over the wall there. He's going to dash in. There's a slice and dice as well to slow him down. The ult does hit, but Sayo's going to turn this one around with his ult. He needs to be careful of that return damage, though. Trying to put out a lot. Exceptional play by Sayo there. I mean, he's had great positioning during that fight, able to put out his damage, get in and out safely, using his sprint 3. NQ getting
1 bomb left.
The bomb is going to miss. Well played by NQ as well to avoid that last shot. Optics is rotated in, but both of these targets at full HP. He's just going to try to clear the wave out a bit. There may be another dive coming out, though. The threshold going to slow down Raffer. He's going to take a shot. Stun, missed. Through the world he goes. More damage for his trouble, and that's going to be that. They aren't able to secure that kill into NQ. A couple bombs missing there, but Sayo does come in and out of that fight, getting himself another assist.
That Thor ultimate. I mean, Radford, look at him right now. You see Radford 3-0-0. He's sitting at the top damage, top kills, and top gold for his team, and for good reason. Radford just skyrocketing with this Thor, but that's the power of experience, right? Sayo is thinking they use their ultimates, they use their abilities, all their stuff is on cooldown, and the only person that has range attacks is Rod, and he's away from me. So he turned back around and used the long range ability of his ultimate during Regurgitate. Bakasura's attacks, basic attacks, are in a cone in front of him and have distance, so he's able to do it. Yeah, it looks like they're backing off here, but
they just warded it though. They'll see this camp spawn.
That was very specific play from Sayo, able to kind of jump in there and get the damage off, and relying on his teammate to initiate right on top of it.
Yeah, that left side. Look at the warding over on the left side from Mortality is really what I want to highlight.
It looks like they just want to counter.
Yeah, they don't want that orange buff invaded. They don't want that backside evade coming out. They want to make sure that they get another nice initiation at this mid camp. They have wards on both sides of the entrance to mid, +1 on spotting the rotation to the blue buff, plus a ward at the red buff. So look for hi-rez to have some trouble in the jungle here in the next few moments.
Hold on, Fexes force him away. Dash with planes are coming out there. Emilito looking for the follow-up. Giannis Holtguy's going to miss here. This is looking better for C9. Thor up in the air. Will he go for a target? Up in the air is Apollo looking for the backlines. Will he find Fexes is the question. Dunking down. Frezzy force away. The shield's going to come through here. Very slow. Looking for the kill. Going to find it. Big damage going to Fexes. Oh, Frezzy's got the rollout. He's got the distance. He's A-OK. Mox with the ultimate going to force them to disengage. And what looked like a great fight for C9 due to the tankiness and durability of Frezzy turns into 3-0. Therefore, Mortality C9 without a kill on the board.
That happened just about as well as Mortality could have hoped. They get the pile in onto Gib to try to burst him down. The ultimate comes through. The Thor on top of it, while Rom has already had his ultimate channeled. He's in the air, puts out a tremendous amount of AoE damage. And then they set up another kill with the wall there off of the mid lane. And then just one more before they go back, a fourth kill onto the Giannis in the mid lane. And that, I mean, when you have two range stuns on Agni and Thor, when these gods are put into the game, they're pretty early gods in the first 30 or so. You saw a big change in how Smite was played. There was no range stuns prior to that besides Anubis' Wrap, which is nothing like this type of ability. And you can see just the power of still those limited range stuns in Smite. When you get two of them together, it just blows up gods that perhaps weren't prepared for that.
I mean, Fex has been playing perfectly, right? Just look at the numbers here. 465 GPM. He's got 2.2 KD. Now, Optics has more kills, but less gold gain. And that just comes to the fact that Fex plays safer. He likes to look for the easy picks. He likes to look for the easy stuns, whereas Optics makes more risky plays. And that's kind of paying off here for Mortality in the beginning. I mean, there's been a lot of pressure in the mid lane. And the fact that Fex has yet to fall, he's 1-0-4. Look across the way, Optics is 0-2. It's that greediness and the lack of just cautious play. It's hurting Optics right now. And realistically, he needs to start looking for those, kind of more, I guess, meticulous decision making, where you look for just a small step forward, stand back. Small step forward, stand back. Whereas Fex is kind of hanging back, waiting for his teammates to drive the team fight, and then he follows up with a stun. Whereas, you saw the Giannis ultimate come out there.
There's an ult from Thor in the mid lane. There's Geb ultimate as well. They're going to try to make a plan to Optics. He gets through the wall in time. Emilito's not going to be able to rock anybody out, but Optics is still in some trouble now, coming back through into the mid lane with his ultimate. That'll actually might hit Sayo on the backside. No, Sayo leaps it. Oh, what is this life?
That's Giannis, though, but, let's talk about what made that play successful. And really what it was is the fact that we saw Optics beads before he went into the portal. And this is something that's very specific and very small, and something you'll only see from top-level players. He wasn't CC'd there. He actually ate the Geb ultimate and then beads. Now, of course, he was avoiding the shockwave, but if he didn't have the CC immunity from the beads, he would not have been immune to the Thor stun. The Thor stun came out from the ult, landed right on top of him, but because he was still CC immune, he was able to step into the first portal, whereas if he missed that, he was dead to rights.
Yeah, it all comes down to that hairline timing with the Giannis. It feels like you don't want to pop your beats too early because then you might not make it into your portal. But if you pop him too late, his health pool is definitely nothing to write home about. So, mid lane, Rapper gonna get at least mezzed out. Here comes the lockdown, but Emilito misses the root. It's gonna go right down into the portal. There comes the unstable vortex as well, but the Geb shield is there, and Rapper's gonna look to turn this one around, or at least do a bit of peel for himself, and he will survive that one.
Chasing Youngbae down, looking for the kill. Mox is right on top. Does he have an ultimate available? It looks like he does not. Needs a few more shots to do it, taking the tower out of mana. Not in a safe spot. You see rotation coming out from Optics, as well as Emilito. Can you get out this distance? distance here. Frezzy's behind him. That's his last little bit of mana. The Groggy Strike lands. He's kind of caught out here. Geb coming with the ultimate to buy some time. Mox needs to get behind the minions here. hi-rez backing away. The damage from the bomb going to come through. Thor going to miss the dunk. Look at the Flame Wave. Gonna find it, but the Retribution heals him. hi-rez still alive. Emilito dies for his transgressions, and no follow-up kills here. What a beautiful turnaround for Mortality.
Oh, now the Rom ultimate's there. Young Bay is going to be in some trouble. The knockup should secure the second shot, and down he does go. Excellent execution once again by Mortality. It's the second time we've seen that Rom ultimate be guaranteed by either the Geb knockup or the Thor stun.
hi-rez was low enough to die, but he didn't really have clear vision. He saw it, and he decided, you know what? I'm disciplined enough to go for the secured kill on Young Bay. I'm not going to get greedy and go for hi-rez, and that's what allowed him to kind of secure that kill, get the tower, come back home, and all of a sudden, again, C9 yet to put a kill on the board, Bart.
Big wave of archers moving into the mid lane, but Optics unable to follow it up. Frezzy already here, and that lead is starting to expand for Mortality. 4,000 gold, 7,000 experience, now separating the teams, almost 8,000 experience. And, well, there's been some subtle play as well that we missed during that last engagement. Sayo bullies NQ out of lane and seals his blue buff, so further getting himself ahead. Left side, Geb. Well, he's getting aggressed onto a bit, but I think perhaps Cloud9 has learned their lesson in some respects around trying to pile into the Geb with Thor still roaming like this. Emilito now going to be the one that they're going to tee off on. And, well, this seems a little bit of the... We've seen this strategy before used to great effect. I think last time I really remember seeing it go down this way was against TSM. We saw Cloud9 at the time. They had Trix low, like in this kind of same position Emilito's in, where he's level 9 and the field is starting to really outpace him, and they just completely shut him out of the game. And that seems to be a bit of the strat for Mortality here. Anytime they can get a shot to stun Emilito, put some damage out on him, they're going to do it because he is individually 2 levels behind Frezzy at this point.
Moex is keeping it up. Let's look at the 100 comparison. 6,300 gold there on Moex across the way. Young Bay at 5,600. We're seeing a huge disparity there. 700 gold already. Look at the itemization. Young Bay has his boots and his gauntlet, but currently Moex has about 250 in hand, but has that greater sprint, whereas Young Bay has no actives to his name. The Gold Fury is standing, and not a whole lot of pressure has been done towards it just yet. For those of you who are wondering, this is actually a pretty late lack of Gold Fury. I mean, usually you'll see it between 8 and 12 minutes. We're already at 13 here, and so not a whole lot of aggression on the Gold Fury just yet. Emilito going to be forced out here. Raffer looking for the damage, popping his ult. We'll see a rotation from Optics. Will he go back or look for a kill here? Emilito dashing away, looking for the mid-stun, going to find it. Damage on Optics, forcing the portal away. A great start here for C9. The ultimate from Giannis is going to miss. There goes Unstable Vortex, but Moex has the sprint in his back pocket.
Awkward.
Things look to be good.
Awkward ultimates used there.
Yeah.
Optics forced to port out with just the Berserker Barrage. Now Emilito has initiated into several. He's knocked them up, actually back towards him, unfortunately. Dashing forward now and running forward to Raffer and Moex, and that's an easy kill. Young Bay's going to put the damage on Raffer. Raffer may fall here. No, looks like he's going to skirt out of there. hi-rez ultimate, remember, was used very strangely earlier on in that engagement without any follow-up, so unable to secure that kill onto the Thor. And this has made some time for Mortality's Sayo to rotate over as well and join in on the fight. All things told, Mortality finds more kills, Cloud9 finds nothing, and the Gold Fury will get re-aggressed as if nothing ever happened, just a bit lower for their trouble.
We're going to take some damage here from the Gold Fury. There's the Path of Flames to push it down. Young Bay's in the area, but not a whole lot they can do. With the kill on Emilito, this Gold Fury is guaranteed. And we got 6,100 gold and 10,000 experience in favor of Mortality. C9 is keeping up in the farm, but they're losing out on the experience, and they're definitely losing out on the kills. They're having a lot of trouble getting these kills up. They're 12-0 right now. C9 has had a lot of close calls in the kill, but I think that there's going to be a pretty easy, grind here as far as like what's happening to C9. We're seeing hi-rez going into the fight prematurely, and also the fact that hi-rez went for Witchblade means that he does not have a whole lot of damage to his name. And you're also going to see almost. I mean, I can't think of a single time that Optics has had an ult land. I think he's missing a lot of damage from the Giannis as well. Look at the individual damage numbers. You can see, yeah, Optics has done 2,800 damage on his player. That's actually going to be the second least in the game. His Guardian is out damaging him. The only person that he's beating in damage so far is Frezzy on Geb.
Yeah, it's fully unacceptable as a Giannis. And well, in addition to that, Raffer, I mean, is really the highlight for, I think, why you see that being the case. He's put a tremendous amount of pressure. He's forced out. Most of Giannis's ultimates have been defensive, trying to escape from pressure. He's porting out and then using his ultimate to kind of reposition himself from the follow-up aggression after that Thor stun. But the items are starting to come out in spades here for Mortality. The Gem of Isolation, the Spear of the Magist, I have no idea where that came from, is up and running on Vex's left side lane. We got the Hunter duel coming down. Remember, Rom has the additional hitbox with his ultimate.
Avoid.
He's going to avoid the Mez. Youngbei smartly going to be right under him, but still able to be cleaned up. And here comes Thor as well. The last hit does a lot of damage. Sayo gets picked up by hi-rez on the far side, but we're going to stick with Emilito here, where he has gone down as well. Checking in with the far side, Sayo did pick up a kill on to NQ again in the lane. His third kill in the lane versus the Ra. Let's hold that thought again as Optics is continuing to be in some trouble. He's not going to make it to the wall this time as the Berserker Barrage is good. 4 members of Cloud9 down. This should result in a tier 2 at least for Mortality. hi-rez wants to stick around and defend this, but I'm not sure what he expects to gain from this besides, well, you've got put yourself in position to get zoned out completely now by Frezzy, who's just going to have a leapsy poo with you. And actually Cloud9 throws in the towel there. 16-1, 15 minutes, 55-second win for Mortality Esports. And, well, at the end of the day, all this is really going to do is hurt their GPM numbers.
That's true. Well, I mean, Sayo was able to, the only person on Mortality to die there. And I think we didn't see a whole lot of cohesion coming out on the side of C9. I think that's really where their biggest problem is. That they were so scattered in the way that it didn't seem like they were prepared to deal with Mortality's aggression.
Yeah.
When you have Thor, right, that's kind of what you want to drive. You want to drive aggression. You want to drive engagements because he has such mobility and a lot of CC potential plus high damage that if you kind of force a lot of fights and get ahead, it's really tough. Look at the damage numbers here. You can see that most in the game is going to be Raffer on Thor, but of course he was involved in almost every single fight. We can see that the total number of kills there was 16 on the side of Mortality, and he was part of 10 of them. So over half of the fights there were kind of driven by or involved by Raffer, but Raffer is a good person to talk about. Thor, fantastic character.
He is indeed. Sayo in this game won his lane, which made a lot of room for Raffer to rotate around. Didn't have to focus on trying to keep that Ra down. Put a lot of pressure out on Emilito and Giannis, catching Optics and Emilito's Kumba twice together. And doing that, picking up kills on both the support and the mid laner, it removed a lot of their utility in the fights. And actually, let's take a look here at some of these plays from Raffer that, certainly the most valuable player here on the side of Mortality. Set the tone for this game in a big way and had one of his best showings to date. Let's take a look here at the first example, and this is this double kill onto the Kumba and the Giannis. And look how they stack up right at the wrong time. Raffer pulls the trigger immediately, gets the double stun. They prevent Optics from going through the portal. First kill comes out. He does get punched out by Emilito, but then they're able to secure that with the rollout, and he will get credit for this kill as well. And that really set the pace for the game, and this coming right after First Blood as well on the right side lane. Second engagement here, and watch for Raffer's play once again. Look for him to isolate out the Giannis in this fight. Optics trying to make his way into the right side, but now he notices that hi-rez, Youngbei, and Emilito are going to pile in, crashing in his Youngbei, and he still finds 3 here. Pulls the trigger just perfectly. He really wanted to find the Giannis again in that fight, I think, but the opportunity just presented itself so well that he dumped in onto 3 and found a lot of kills, and that was about half of his successful initiations.
Oh, yeah. He was able to control everything. And one thing that comes to mind immediately is the fight that happened in the solo lane, right? And it's really trusting your teammates. Sayo was down to about 100 HP. He was just down to his last leg. And the fact that they had used all their cooldowns, Sayo says, it's okay. And Raffer's probably in his ear saying, I can initiate. Do you want me to initiate? Do you want me to go? And he says, yeah, go ahead. And we saw Sayo turn back around and sit at full range, biting with his ultimate. And all of a sudden, the damage came on up, but he got a double stun into the solo lane, taking hi-rez out, taking NQ out, and it was a really big game for them. But that's kind of the power of Thor. Why you see him played so much is that he has such versatility plus damage in the back end. His passive gives him up to 45 physical power depending on how many gods are in front of him. So the more people he hits with his ultimate, the more damage
That's
he
right.
does
That
with it.
3-man stun probably granting him, in addition to that, additional probably 20 to 25 physical damage depending on if that 5th player was in range. So a lot coming out there from the Thor, certainly. And, well, one thing that wasn't shown was the synergy between the Rom and the Thor in that matchup. They had some really, really nice setups for that Rom ultimate using the Thor stun, the Agni range stun, as well as the Geb knockup. They had a lot of CC, and they had a lot of coordination with their Hunter in that game. But that is going to do it for a game out of Europe today, ladies and gentlemen. We're moving over to the North American scene. We have 2 games to bring you. Our game of the day is Cog Red versus Cog Prime. That's up next. Following that is going to be the Chunks versus Dig. Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be back with the North American version of the Smite Pro League in just a few moments. We'll be bringing that one to you live, probably in the next 15 minutes. We'll see you then.